Today was a particularly tough day for me. I fell down a couple of times while I was out hiking. At least two of them were pretty hard falls. I didn't get like injured, but I definitely wasn't having a good time while I was doing that. It was pretty tough. I actually called my wife and I was like, look, I could just come home right now and I could spend the next 2 weeks with you and the girls, my youngest two. It was really tempting. Like, I was ready to just be like, that's enough of this. Let me pack up and go home. My wife just laughed at me when I said that, which, I was a little bit embarrassed. It was thoughts that I had when I was out there on the tundra today. But I came home, well, back to base camp, which is home right now, and called her, talked to her for a bit, talked to another hunter who's leaving tomorrow. I made dinner and dessert, which sounds really extravagant, but it's just like all just the same stuff I've been eating, where it's like dried, freeze-dried, and needs boiled to heat up. But it was really good anyway. I was super hungry. I'm burning between 5,000 and 6,000 calories a day for the last couple of days. I'm putting in a lot of miles. I think yesterday or today I did 15 or 16 miles, something like that. It's a lot of miles to put in. I'm definitely, I don't know if it's just like being out here or the food or the extra calories, but I already feel thinner. I already feel lighter. And I kind of was joking to myself at one point. I was like, well, hey, let's not lose more than 10 pounds on this trip. And I kind of chuckled, to myself when I was on the drive up here. I had 2 days to drive up here. Sorry, it's a little cold. But it's a real thing. Try not to lose too much weight while I'm here and manage my food and everything else. But I feel a little bit better. I ran the buddy heater in the tent. It was kind of like a morale thing. I wanted to see too. I was like, oh, well, I really need to run an experiment. That's why I'm going to do it. Not because it's cold and I really just want to be, get changed into my sleep clothes in a warm tent. It's because I want to see how much carbon monoxide it's going to put off. Yeah, I've got my little carbon monoxide detector, and I'll run it for a bit and I'll see if it goes off. It didn't. It's a little bit higher in here, but it's like not enough to be dangerous. It'll go berserk if it's even close to being dangerous. So, it was a few of these morale things where it was a good meal and a warmer tent for a few minutes to hopefully kind of brighten my spirits. It was tough today because I kept losing, not my way, but like the path and the trail that I wanted to take. And, I think that's kind of indicative with how we feel in life sometimes. And I'm not going to wax philosophical for a minute. Sometimes, we're just trying to get home. We're just trying to get back and, get back to the comforts, the warm place, the food, a full belly, that sort of stuff. And when we lose the trail, I can feel directly, both figuratively and literally today, where it was just frustrating because I was like, man, I would make better time and I'm tired of having to stop and look around. And I just want to get there and I just want to get home. And what I can say, as far as that went, was the only thing that I could do at that point was to just keep going. Just a few steps at a time, even if it's something. But I didn't give up. and I don't want anybody else to give up either. There's parts of life that are hard and they're frustrating, and we don't always know our way fully. But keep going. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep moving, and eventually you will make that goal. It might be cold in the meantime. You might be hungry. It might be tough, but keep going. And, you know, if it's not enough, think about what it's like to be out in the wind and the snow and everything else in the North Slope. It's what the Alaskans call the Arctic north of Brooks Range, which is where I am right now. Yeah, hopefully, you know, it's not a massively inspiring, you know, story. All I did was hike a few miles today. But, you know, I think that the analogy is still there. The lesson is still there. Just keep going. With that, I have a lot of decisions to make. There's more snow on the ground, which means that I can drag my sled. I mean, I would say I could take more weight, but man, I was slipping around all over the place today. So that might make a difference on what I take out. I might just go with the same loadout I've gone for the last 2 days, which is basically enough to harvest 2 caribou, if I get to see one. At this point, I would take one. It'd be really nice to, you know, bring at least a caribou back. Yeah, it's a tough one. Let's see what else. Oh, I had another thought too today. Because when you're out there and, you know, or you're trying to decompress from being out there, there's a show that I watched, and the guy's like a real deal, like, survivalist, and it's really cool because, you know, it's nothing to take away from some of the more showy guys that, you know, aren't 100% surviving. They're showing you how you would survive, but they're not surviving. They've got their whole camera crew and like a rescue team and like experts on the spots that are like, you can eat that, don't eat that, that sort of thing. This guy, Survivor Man, if anybody wants to go and watch it, I don't want to like officially endorse it or whatever, but I enjoyed the show. He was really cool because he would go out there and it was just him and his camera. And I'm not trying to like be in the same ballpark as this guy. He's light years ahead of where I am. A lot of what I'm doing is just the thoughts and the feelings, and, you know, maybe there's some hints and stuff about, you know, hey, maybe you should try this or try that, or just comment, you know, and I'm like, hey man, I'll help you out. But he was really awesome. He would go out there and it was just his camera and him and whatever like little knickknacks that he was trying to survive off of. And he'd go out for days, a week at a time, and survive in these like really terrible locations and environments and everything else. And I remember one time, you know, like off of the norm, he was like getting pissed. He was getting pissed one day, and it was like, you know, in the morning, and he was trying to do something. I don't remember what it was, and it wasn't working. And, you know, the next video, and most of the time there's like, you know, several videos throughout the day about, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm going to start this fire, that sort of thing. But it just basically skipped forward to the evening, and he had like a fire going, and that whatever he was trying to do was all sorted out, and like he had caught some food and he was sitting around and eating and everything. And I was like, you know, that's kind of nice to know that even like pros, guys with their own TV show and, you know, the real deal as far as like, hey, I'm going to go out here with my camera and survive, can get pissed off, can get frustrated, and still be like, okay, let me take some time, let me get some comforts, and then I'll just reset and I'll get going again. So I think thinking about him, and thinking about just putting one foot in front of the other was kind of the tone of the day. And I'm going to try and wind down from the excitement that was today, thinking about that. I really need more luck. Today I had luck in that I didn't get injured in my falls. I managed to find my way back, even though I was not on the trail the whole time, which was really frustrating. My trail path that I was taking out, I was hoping that it would be well marked because of my sled, but it snowed all day long, and I got to a point where the first parts of the trail that I had made with my sled were gone. Like the last parts of it I could follow, but at a certain point I couldn't even find my own tracks, which is like, it snowed a lot today. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I back to that. I definitely felt the luck because I didn't get injured today in the falls that I had. I felt that. I was able to control a lot of my falls. There was only like those 2 good ones where I was like, ow, this really hurts, and I'm going to lay down for a minute. But keep the luck coming. Keep wishing me luck. Keep thinking about me. And tomorrow, hopefully, we see some more caribou. Not just females and their calves and stuff, but like big bull males out there outside of the corridor too. I mean, that would be great. I would take that. I would take the struggle, even if I don't get a clean shot, and be like, almost. I would take that over not seeing them at all. And thanks again for all the luck you've wished me so far, because I'm pretty sure that I'd be crawling back on my hands and knees, too stubborn to hit the SOS, and I'd still be out there right now. So thanks, and keep wishing me luck.